Welcome to Royal House Updates. Prince Harry has slammed world leaders for a global assault on democracy and freedom in an address to the United Nations General Assembly today, Monday. Before we continue, if you're new to our channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more updates, thank you. Speaking this afternoon in New York to commemorate the life of Nelson Mandela, the Duke of Sussex reflected on the former South African leader's life, revealing a treasured picture he still hangs on his wall was of the anti-apartheid activist with his late mother, Princess Diana. In a series of scathing remarks, he criticized world leaders for the many crises currently being faced. Condemning inaction on climate change, he stated, "As we sit here today, our world is on fire." The prince told delegates, "This has been a painful year and a painful decade. We're living through a pandemic that continues to ravage communities in every corner of the globe. Climate change is wreaking havoc on our planet, with the most vulnerable suffering most of all." Referencing Putin's horrific invasion of Ukraine and the U.S. Supreme Court's recent decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, the Duke decried the few weaponizing lies and disinformation and lies at the expense of the many. The Duke told the UN, "As happens so often in history, the consequences of some of the most powerful people in some of the wealthiest countries are being felt even more deeply across the continent of Africa. The pandemic, the war and inflation have left Africa marred in a food and fuel crisis, the likes of which we have not seen in decades. Worst still, this comes at a time when the Horn of Africa is enduring one of the longest droughts it's faced in close to half a century. What is happening in Africa is not an isolated event. The drought there is a reflection of extreme weather we are seeing across the globe. As we sit here today, our world is on fire, again. Hall make the decisions, the daring, transformative decisions that our world needs to save humanity." The prince's remarks come as wildfires rage across Western Europe and the UK scorches in a record-breaking heatwave, leading the Met Office to issue its first red weather warning. Despite interventions from royals and avid climate campaigners Princes Charles and William, last year's COP26 summit in Glasgow was panned by activists for failing to secure an agreement that would adequately deal with global warming. Global leaders were told they had not done enough to stop the global average temperature rising by 2 degrees, the point at which climate scientists predict the devastating effects of climate change will become exponential. Prince Harry had been invited to the UN to give an address to mark Nelson Mandela International Day. There, he described the late South African statesman as a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders who endured the very worst of humanity but was still able to see the goodness in humanity. He added that even when confronting unimaginable cruelty and injustice, Mandela always had a smile on his face. Remarking on the photos of Mandela from his life, the prince said, "For me, there's one photo in particular that stands out. On my wall and in my heart every day is an image of my mother and Mandela meeting in Cape Town in 1997. He added, "When I first looked at the photo, straight away what jumped out was the joy on my mother's face, the playfulness, cheekiness, even the delight to be in communion with another soul so devoted to serving humanity."